we really need to do. Okay, it's going to help us all a great deal. So, like I said earlier, my name is Okoluwa. So, how did I get started? How did I get started? So, so if you are just joining us, try as much as possible to connect your audio, right? So, how did I get started? I started 12 years ago, and when I started 12 years ago, I mean, some of these realtorship things were not very, very popular. So the examples, all the examples we had were basically HNI realtors and realtors that are not even based in Nigeria. Those were the examples that we had then. There were not people that we could touch, feel, and all of that. So the books we could read, we could have access to, we had access to them were books um, Brian Tracy, Robert Kiyosaki. Those were books we could lay our hands on. I remember one of the first ever book I read on sales was Be a Sales Superstar, and it was recommended um, by my boss, telling me, okay, see, guy, go and read this book. It will help you. It will shatter so many ceiling for you. So you're welcome. For those that are just joining us, you're all welcome. So I know we just need to get started. I know quite a number of people are still going to join us, but we just need to get started. And if you can hear me loud and clear, just go to the chat room and type one. If you can hear me loud and clear, just go to the chat room and type one. I just need to know that you are with me tonight. Okay. So, like I said, that was the first book that I read. And that first book literally changed my story, my perception, and the way I see sales. It changed my story, it changed my perception, and it changed the way I see selling, especially, I mean, coming into real estate as somebody that is timid, shy, that can't stand before people, that cannot even do presentation, cannot even stand before camera. But I was able to overcome it because of some of the things that I was able to learn from that book. Okay. Um, so if you can hear me loud and clear, please can you type one? I need response. I need response. Henry, can you hear me? Jolly, Philemon, can you hear me? Realtor David, can you hear me? Just go to the chat room and type one. I don't want to assume that you can hear me. Oh, good, good, good. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. So I can continue. So that book, Be a Sales Superstar by Brian Tracy, is a book that I always recommend for anybody that is just new in real estate. I see, you want to do realtor and you want to make money, you want to make sales in real estate and you want to keep selling, carry that book, read it slowly, don't rush, nobody, there's no winner, there's no loser, right? Pick it, read that book slowly and read it over and over and over and over again. In fact, when you start from the beginning, you finish reading it. As you are reading it, you are noting things down. What are the things I'm going to start doing? What are the things I'm going to stop doing? What are the things I will continue to do? So that those are the things, those are the decisions that you need to make as you are reading that book. And when you are done reading it, start again until the book becomes part of you. Until the book becomes what? Part of you. The book is in your, the book is within your DNA. You can literally act everything that is being taught in the book. Until you get to that state, it is going to be almost impossible for you to have to become a realtor that automates money making. Okay. So as a new realtor, as a new realtor, how do you then make your first sale? Whether you're a new realtor or you're a returning realtor, you have the opportunity to watch this video. There are some things that are just very, very important and fundamental that we all need to pay attention to. They are very important, they are fundamental, and you need to pay attention to them. And those are some of the things I'm going to be highlighting. And like I said earlier, these are things I learned personally. I learned them personally from my own personal experience. And these are things I still use till today to continually make sales, right? To continually make sales. For instance, this morning I still had a sales call. I still had a sales call this morning. And some of the techniques I used during my sales call this morning were things I learned from the book. And I was just smiling to myself. I just said, wow. So over the years, from my 12 years experience, these are the things that I have been able to identify that can help you to quickly make your first sales. So number one is, as a new realtor, you are faced with several challenges that will confront you as a beginner. So there will be several challenges, several challenges. Take for instance now, Realtor David, I don't know when you started real estate, but I'm very sure when you started real estate, you did not have the confidence to even put your name as Realtor David, right? You did not. At some point, you built the confidence to be able to put your name as Realtor David. Probably you attended the training, somebody prompted you up, somebody encouraged you, and you are so bold enough, you are so confident that you can put your name as Realtor David, right? So what are the things that are going to face you when probably some of you are even facing some of these things right now? Number one is that identity crisis. Identity crisis is the number one challenge that you are going to face when you just start real estate. You see, when you just start real estate, you are literally coming from an industry. You are literally coming from what? From an industry. So probably you were a teacher, you were a teacher, you were think of anything, but you were doing something before you jumped into real estate. You were actively involved in something before you moved into real estate. You were actively involved in something. So people will not be able to say, let's take for instance, probably Realtor David was a teacher before. Let's say he was a teacher before he moved into real estate, before he started real estate business, and before he became a realtor. The first set of people that Realtor David is going to be encountering are going to have the problem of alignment. Should we categorize him as a real estate person, or we should categorize him as a teacher? Okay, should we categorize him as a real estate person, or we should categorize him as a teacher? There will always going to be that identity crisis. And if you are not careful, people will say it to you, and you will have that identity crisis within yourself, because you find it difficult to say, okay, am I a real estate person or as a teacher? In fact, most often than not, when people move from a different industry, probably they were students, they are now into real estate, probably they are doing their masters, they are now doing real estate, probably they are bankers, they are now doing real estate. 2 weeks ago, I still met a medical doctor that is a realtor. And we got talking and I was like, this thing, in fact, he doesn't joke with being a realtor at all. He doesn't joke with it at all, because some of the things opportunities that he has learned and he has been able to take advantage of as as a doctor. And I said, wow, that is phenomenal. That is really, 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 really phenomenal. Okay. So identity crisis is the number one thing that you're going to face when you start this journey of realtorship. Number two is the brand perception from your audience. Brand perception from your audience. And the reason why this brand perception is going to be very, very key is that because people don't even know how to place you, especially when they've known you with a particular picture. Okay, take for instance, now most of the time when I mention a name to you, there's a perception that comes to your mind about that person, right? If, for instance, now I mention Oyedepo, there is a perception that comes to mind when I mention the word Oyedepo. There is a perception, there's a belief system, there's a picture of who Oyedepo is to us, right? Or if I mention a police officer, for instance, I just mentioned the name police officer, there's a picture that comes to your mind. That's the same way when people mention our name too, there is a picture that comes to mind. So when people mention David, the picture that comes to mind, does it speak of a real estate person or does it speak of someone else? So, and that perception is very, very important. In fact, and that perception, it is our responsibility to what? To control that perception. I remember many, many years ago, I said something to myself. I said, God, if you really want to make money in this thing, everybody that knows you, when they think of real estate, they must think of you. In fact, I say when they think of real estate, it is my picture that must come to mind. Just the same way, when you think of Redeem, it is Baba Adeboye's picture that comes to mind. That is the same way when anybody that knows me, it was my goal, and that goal became, I mean, it defined a lot of things. The messages that I crafted, the 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 things that I post on my status, it informed a lot of things. People, when they think of real estate, they must think of me. And you see, when you get to that level, what it does for you is that when people have need in an area of real estate and they need their needs to be met, they are going to come to you, right? And see, I remember there's a series my CEO is currently doing talking about the power of focus. And some couple of times ago, he shared on the story of the power of focus that at some point, he was a salesperson, he was a tailor, he was a photographer, he was a it was so many things. And people became confused because they did not even know where they should place him. Okay, should we place you as an investment banker, salesperson? Should we place you as a realtor? Should we, because the same people that you are selling real estate to, you are selling Organa gold to them, you are selling clothes to them, you are selling shoe to them, you are selling. So you yourself, you are not focused. You have confused the people you are supposed to sell to when they have real estate need, or probably they are in the gathering of their friends, right? And they needed, their friend is saying, I want to buy a property. Instead of them referring you, all what is coming to their mind, you are not even coming to their radar at all because they cannot place you. And that is very, very important, is about brand perception. And you see, one thing we must understand, especially for those of us that are new in real estate, is that people buy you before they buy your product. People buy you before they buy your product. They must be able to identify you, identify with you, buy you, know you, like you, trust you before they can buy anything that you are bringing before them. If they cannot do any of the above or few of the above, there is no way you will earn enough trust for you to be able to collect their money. Okay, so perception is very important. So number 3 is culture shock. Culture shock. Um, let me use brand perception and culture shock. I'll share some stories with us right now, right? I don't know whether this has ever happened to us. Okay, today something happened. One of my cousins, an elderly cousin, just called me and he dropped a message for me that he saw my status one time that he and his friend are actually having a discussion. I was actually in a meeting when I was actually in a meeting, so I couldn't. He called me, I didn't pick his call, so he dropped a message for me. He said he and his friend were actually in a meeting, and in that meeting, his friend was talking about him buying a property, and I said, that he has a younger guy, that a younger brother that can really help him out. So he called me immediately, but he dropped the message for me later on, and I was able to respond to him. The only reason why, and in the chat he dropped to me, he said there was something he saw on my status that it looks like what the guy was talking about. That was even the reason why he called me. So you see, that's the power of updating status. That's the power of always, you see, putting things on your status is like you are hawking your food, you are hawking your products. Most of us, probably when we were growing up, you stayed in an area where the person that is hawking beans will pass, the person that is hawking bread will pass, the person that is hawking pap will pass, the person that is hawking groundnut will pass. Everybody hawking something is always passing in front of your house, and you keep buying. Oh, yeah. In fact, some you have become so regular. Every Saturday they'll just come and drop out. I remember then when we were growing up, there's a woman that used to sell pap. As the person is going out, he will just branch in front of our house, drop pap there, and when he's coming back when he has finished selling anything, he'll come back and collect money. Right? That is the power of brand perception. So what now happens is this, which is number 3, culture shock is number 3. So what we are looking at is what are the things that you will confront as a beginner, right? When you start real estate. Number three is culture shock. People are going to be shocked, especially when people see you in a particular way. So for me, a lot of people saw me as somebody being timid, somebody um, that is very timid, somebody that is not bold, somebody that is I mean shy and all of those things. And I started sending, when I started, there was nothing like WhatsApp. There was nothing like, the only thing was a BlackBerry and bulk SMS. Those were, if you have BlackBerry, God bless you. And if bulk SMS was actually the way we were communicating with people then. So I'll do a bulk SMS blast, and then I had like 4,000 numbers. I'll send a bulk SMS to people, right? And some of them that have my numbers, I will add my number. By the time they dial the number, they will realize that it was my number and all of those things. And they will be wondering that some of them will not even reply the SMS. It's later on they will now see me that Ogbeni, we saw your message. Now you into real estate right now. Are you to know they sell land? Probably you have encountered such culture shock before. And just, are you to know they sell land? You understand? So it is very, very possible that you encounter such. So the culture shock is very, very real. So you need to prepare your mind, right? And the only way you can um, deal with culture shock is you go with knowledge. You need to harm yourself with knowledge. You see, in the game of real estate, you need to know some, you need to know things. So culture shock is real, but knowledge is very, very important. That is the only way you will be able to overcome culture shock, because by the time people realize that yes, this guy have knowledge, right? This guy have knowledge, this guy have knowledge, the culture shock thing will go down. Okay? Because of our time, the other thing that you confront is knowledge and terminologies. You confront that. Because there are so many things that you don't know. You are moving from a new sector to a new sector. You need to learn you need to gather enough knowledge, and you need to learn new terminologies. What is the definition of this? What is the definition of this? What is the definition of this? So you will need to learn that. Then number 5 is you need to learn how to close. Yes, your closing needs to be top notch. Okay, you are wondering which one is learning how to close. Okay, you see, ability to ask people for money is closing. Ability to ask people for money and knowing fully well that you are asking people for money because you are doing them a favor. I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about. The natural culture is when you are asking people for money, they are the one doing you a favor. But closing is ability to ask people for money while you are the one doing them a favor. Oh, I don't know whether you get this. Let me give an example. Okay? One of our property in Bagara was sold to somebody at 110 million. Before the person completed the payment of that property has gone to 150 million naira. And now, even though the property has not been fully built, it's still under construction, but the person has finished paying his own payment plan. The person has put the property back to market at 150 million naira. Property that he just paid 110 million naira for. I don't know whether you get that. So, who is doing who favor? Is it the person that sold it at 110, or now the person that wants to sell it at 150,000, 150 million? So your ability to collect money from someone, right, without feeling guilty or feeling like they are doing you a favor. No, you are the one actually doing them a favor. So if you are with me tonight, I want you to go to the chat room and type 5. If you are with me tonight and type 5, type 5, type 5. Okay? Type 5. I'm waiting for you. Type 5, type 5. If you are with me tonight. So in case you have, awesome. In case you have any question, just go to the chat room, drop your question there, and I'll come back to your question. Okay? Very, very important. So you need to be able to close. Your closing, you are doing people favor, nobody is doing you any favor. The next is generating quality leads. That's one of the other challenges that a lot of people, you realize that a lot of people don't, it looks like they have money, they don't have money. So a popular parlor, they will tell them that some of them are power raja. what it invariably means is that they look rich, but they are not actually rich. So your ability to sieve them, those that can buy from you, from those that cannot buy from you, is very, very important. Then, lastly, one of the main challenges that you will face is lack of experience. Lack of experience. And see, the only way your lack of experience can be cured is by your staying power, because you only gain experience by doing something, right? So the more you do it, the more experience you are able to gain, and the more experience you are able to gain, that's the only way you can make progress. If you know there's a waiting period, there's always going to be a waiting period, right? You need to have that at the back of your mind. There's always going to be a waiting period. That your waiting period at the period you will be doing everything and sales will not come, right? I hope, and my desire is that some of the things we are going to be going through right now is going to help you, right, overcome that waiting period. And if time permits us, there's still something more I would like to share beyond even this session, that this curriculum that I actually designed, right? So there's still more stuff that I would like to share with us that I believe that will help us. See, my doing this is not because I'm being paid to do it. My doing this is my desire for you to make sales. That is my desire for you, okay? So how do we then make our first sales? Number one is that you start from the people you know. You start from the people you know. People buy from those that they know, like, and trust. People that know you are the people that will buy from you. If somebody does not know you, he will not buy from you. That Don't start your real estate journey with cold calling. There's something called cold calling. Cold calling is basically when I'm talking to somebody that does not know me to come and buy something from me. That's cold calling. So people buy from people that they know. And that is very, very important. So you need to sell to the people that knows you, that like you, and that trust you. So let me share my own practical experience with us. When I joined the real estate, I joined on a Monday, right? I think yes, this was a Monday, 12th of December. So I joined on a Monday. After the orientation and all of those things, I was trained. I had a similar lecture like this. And after that lecture, we were asked to develop a prospect list. And we developed a prospect list of 2,000 people. Yes, 2,000 people. That was the prospect list I was able to design. So the 2,000 people prospect list that I was able to design, from the 2,000 people, I said, okay, who are the people that know me? As in that know me. And not that I know 2,000 people. That was why I was able to draw 2,000 numbers, right? But from those 2,000 people, who are the people that really know me, that, that Tomo mi dele, how would I put that in English? That knows me, that knows my in and out. So I draw it down to 200. I'm giving you a practical story right now, right? I was able to draw it down to what? To 200. So in these 200 people, I asked myself, who are the people that like me, that trust me, that I can go and meet? Then the products we're selling was 600,000 naira, and the down payment of that product was 60,000 naira. That's the initial deposit was 60,000. So I asked myself, who are the people that can give me 60,000 that as down payments, that they don't need to, how will I put it? It doesn't have to be that they need to buy anything from me. They can just dash me 60K. Anybody that can just dash me 60K, they don't need to buy anything from me. So I was able to, I wrote about 22 names or 20 names there out, right? Remember, all of them, I keep sending them SMS, so SMS, 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 SMS. I keep sending them on SMS. And after a while, I send all of these people the message and all of those things. At the end of the day, by Saturday, I joined on a Monday. By Saturday, I was able to get two people to buy from me. Two people was able to pay 60,000 naira initial deposit. One was a guy, one was a lady. They paid the initial deposit in my first week of joining real estate. So that is the power of people that know you, like you, and trust you. See, this that I just shared, anybody can implement the same thing. I've shared it several times when we meet people. Let's see if you can just narrow it down to people that like you, know you, and trust you. Believe me, you will make sales. Narrow it down to what? People that like you, know you, and trust you. You will make sales. But most often than not, we are too ashamed. We are too ashamed to hawk our products. We are too ashamed to what? To hawk our products. And a product you don't hawk, you can't gain from it. A product you do not hawk, you cannot sell. You can't make profits. So if you are too ashamed to hawk your product, then you will be too ashamed to make profit from your product. If you are too ashamed to hawk your product, you'll be too ashamed to make profit from it. Carry your product for head. Carry the real estate for head. Let people say that your own too much. Let them tag you. One of the names that they gave to me was calling me Babonile, 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 Babonile. Let people tag you. Let them call you names. Oh, I don't know whether somebody is feeling my energy tonight. Let them tag you. Let them call you names. Up your product. Everywhere you go, talk about your product. Then we used to do a lot of physical flyers. I carried the flyer everywhere. Even though I was still working on my timidity, I was still working on my shyness, but I still carried the flyer everywhere. So, people that know you, like you, and trust you are the people that will buy from you. People that know you, trust you, are the people that will buy from you. Okay? So, how you start from the known to the unknown. People who know you will most likely buy from you because of emotional attachment. So who are these people that bought from me? Right? These were people that the two of them were my church members. I was the youth president of my church. One was my vice president, the other was my prayer coordinator. So these guys know me. Those are the two people. Right? So people that know you, like you, trust because of the emotional attachment. So you can always leverage on the reputation of the people that know you to enter a new market. It is called reputation capital. So let me explain this. It's possible that you are on this call that your problem is not even how to make your first sales, but you have stopped selling, right? Do I have anybody like that in the house? My problem is not, I've made my first sale already, but I've stopped selling. Do I have anybody in the house like that? If you're in the house, just go to the comment section and just chat me up. If you are somebody like that, I have a solution for you tonight. So if you are someone like that, the reason is probably you are not even taking what you are doing seriously, or you have exhausted the market that you have. You have what? You have exhausted the market that you have. So how do you penetrate new markets? You penetrate through new markets through referral. You start from the people that know you, like you, and trust you. Look at the two people that bought from me for the first time I was going to be making sales. These two people, one was working at multi-choice, the other person was working with Winbies. The person working with Winbies brought almost 5 of our friends to buy from me. The other person that was working with multi-choice opened platforms for me to come and make presentation. And because of these two people, I was able to enter multi-choice. I was able to enter what? Winbies. So I was now dealing with people that I don't know from anywhere. Because of what? Emotional attachment these two people have for me. I was able to enter them and I made sales. I don't know whether we are getting this tonight, right? Like I said, in case you have any question or any area you want me to clarify, just do that at the comment section. And this section is being recorded, so I'm going to upload it on YouTube channel, and we're going to have the opportunity to watch the replay. Okay. So to make your first sales, let me go a little bit deeper tonight. To make your first sales, you need to develop a sales funnel. Your sales funnel should contain as many people as possible. See, if you are not making contact, you cannot be signing contracts. If you are not making contacts, you are not talking to somebody that will buy from you, can buy from you on a daily basis, you can't close any sales. Don't know whether somebody is listening to me tonight. If you are not making contacts, right? Closing contracts is impossible. Who are you talking to? Who have you spoken to? Your WhatsApp status will only reinforce what you have said. How many people have you sent broadcast to today? Have people received your message today? See, in this sales journey, when WhatsApp came, we're sending broadcast. In fact, I have two numbers. These two numbers have been blocked several times by WhatsApp because I will not allow people to rest. People will report me, but that was how I was making sales. And some people are reporting you. That is how some people are seeing what you are selling. So I don't know whether you get what I'm talking about tonight. The same thing that is a disturbance to some people is the same thing that is an unanswered prayer to others. Let me share another story with us. So after I sold that property, one day I was walking someone home. The person we were fellowshipping together somewhere, and we were walking home, and the person just said that there was something, there was a message. Then it was still the age of broadcast message. He just said that there was a message that he got right from me. That is like, I'm into real estate, I sell land. I said, yes, now that's what I do now. That he was actually planning to buy from somewhere else. And he just remembered that, I've sent them message before now that this is what I do. Look at what happened. Somebody else has followed up on, the name of the person is Ken. Somebody else has follow up on Mr. Ken. He was just having a conversation with me. And I told him, no, that's what I do now. So another man sales entirely that has done all the job because Mr. Ken was having a conversation with me because he saw my broadcast message. That was the day of SMS, bulk SMS. He said, if that's what you do, I mean, let's deal. And that was how Mr. Ken bought 3 plots. Later brought some of his family members. They bought total of 24 plots. Are we together at all? Are we together tonight? If you are with me tonight, just type 5. Type 5. If you are with me tonight, type 5. If you are with me tonight, type 5. If you are with me tonight, type 5. Okay. Good. So I only have 2 people with me tonight. Gainers Property and Realtor David. Where are the rest? If you are with me tonight, type 5. I'm rounding up already. Right? So, thank you very much, Emmanuel Jude. Okay, Jolly. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. So, that is bringing me to my next point. See, everybody that is listening to me right now, follow up is where your fortune is. If you don't follow up, there is something called top of the mind awareness. If people have stopped thinking about you, you can't make sales. And the only way people can still keep thinking about you is that, number one, all what you are selling, send messages, then you need to follow up. Somebody showed interest at some point, follow up. Let me share something that I do. See, what I'm sharing with you is what I do on a daily basis. Let me share something that I do. I did today with us. How I wish I can share my phone screen. So there was somebody that reached out to me in January, and that she wanted to buy property and all of those things. And something happened, she couldn't buy the property. So as I was just in my own time this morning, I was just like, I was driving to the office. I was like, God, where is my next customer coming? I was just speaking positive. I was talking to myself. I was charging myself up as I was driving. I was just charging myself up. And I just started the person up that, and the name of that person flashed to my mind. I just started the person up. I just blah 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 blah. There's this opportunity. I didn't even talk as if we've the deal has dropped before. I chatted the person up as I'm talking to you now. The person said he wants to go and raise 1 million naira to make a deposit. Imagine if I assume that that person does not have money because he raised 2.5 million and he used the 2.5 million naira for something else. Now he said that between now and the end of this month, he's going to drop 1 million naira for his product. So that is the power of follow-up. That's a sales that would have gone somewhere else, but because somebody followed up, the sales is staying. That's the power of follow-up. Okay, very, very important. So your sales funnel should be filled with as many people as possible. I often tell people, see, everybody on your contact list are potential buyers. It's either they have money now or they will have money in the future. See, when I started real estate, most of the people that were I was broke. So most of the people that were in my contact were broke too. Because they were just starting out their life. I was just starting out my life. But as I'm talking to you, most of those guys that were in my contact then that were broke are now wealthy. Some of them are now big boys, some of them have traveled out and all of those things. Are we together at all? So now they have the financial capacity. Somebody say financial capacity. Now they have the financial capacity. So there are people in your contact now that cannot buy it now, but they will buy in the future. Let them keep getting your food. Let them keep getting what? Calls from you. Let them keep getting WhatsApp message from you. Let them make sure they are seeing your status. Right? Very, very important because these are people that know you and it's easier for you to sell to the people that know you. Okay? So what do you do when you, after creating sales funnel? You filter them to those that can buy and those that cannot buy. So what do you mean by filter? You divide them into two categories. Who are the people that can buy from you? Who are the people that cannot buy from you? You filter them. Who are the people that can buy from you? Can buy from you means that they have the financial capacity to buy. Can buy means that they have the financial capacity to buy. Cannot buy from you means that they do not have the financial capacity to buy. And that is very, very important. See, as a realtor, all you have is just 24 hours. If you allow somebody to waste that time, you are wasted. If you allow somebody to waste that time, you are wasted. That's just the truth. So don't allow anybody to waste your time. So filter them. The people that don't have money does not mean that you will throw them away. No, you just keep wetting the ground so that the day when they hammer, they will come and meet you. But those that have financial capacity, you must sell the interest to them because none of them are two that will buy. So that is very, very, very important. Okay. Then number 3 is that focus your energy on those that can buy and those that will buy. What energy? Focus your energy on those that can buy and those that will buy. If you remember my story earlier, the way I was able to filter them was because I had 2,000 people that get my message all the time, over 2,000 people. I narrow it down to those that trust me. But I didn't narrow it down to those that have financial capacity. I narrow it down to those that like me, trust me. I was able to get 20. But out of that 20, it is only 2 people that had the financial capacity because it was not a question of trust. It was a question of the financial capacity at that point in time. I don't know whether somebody is working. It was a question of what? Financial capacity at that very point in time. And it is very, very, very important. If I have not made that sale then, probably I would have given up. It's very, very possible. So your energy is very, very important. Your energy is very, very important. So let me quickly share time that let me run through some of the things that I strongly believe. 5 things. 5 things that you must constantly be doing at every point in time. 5 things that you must constantly be doing. Number one, you must be prospecting at every point in time. Prospecting means you are talking to somebody about what you are selling at every point in time. There should not be any day that goes by that you are not talking to somebody about what you are selling. There should never. The same way that there are no days that you don't drink water and you don't breathe. Prospecting is your breathing and drinking of water as a salesperson, as a realtor. Number two is that you must be recruiting. What do I mean by recruiting? You must be bringing people within your team. You must be asking people for referral. People must be opening new doors for you because there are limits to the number of people that you know. People know people. People are door openers. Number three is that you must constantly be doing follow-up. You must constantly be doing follow-up. Then number four, you must constantly be conducting site inspection, showing people what you are selling. How can somebody want to buy something and the seller has not even seen what the person wants to buy? It is almost impossible to make sales that way. Then number five, which is the last thing which I mentioned earlier, is that you must learn closing. Ask people for money. The reason why some people have not made sales is that they don't know how to ask people for money. And I said, closing is asking people for money. You see, what we do in closing, let me explain to you. Basically, what you are doing in closing is this. You are telling people that the money in their pocket is better in your own hand than in their hand. Let me repeat that. What you are doing in closing is that you are telling people that the money in their pocket is better with you than with them. And they will gladly give it to you. I hope with this few points of mine, I've been able to help you and I'm not confuse you. So let's take some questions because of time. It's almost 9, and I know that so many of us are still going to work again tomorrow. So any question tonight? Let's take questions. I hope these little things I've shared have made sense. Okay, so we have a question here. I think this is saying, thank you very much, Sam. A question: how soon can we ask our client to set up presentation to his or our friends? As soon as that client has bought from you and you have delivered to that client. Let me give you an example. I'm a director, executive director with LifePage. I'm in charge of projects. I'm in charge of projects, all our projects, over 30 of them. I'm in charge of all the projects, right? This Saturday, we're not one of our projects in Mowe. We have housing and land on that project. And on that project, as we're doing allocation, we're asking people to give us referrals. As we're doing allocation, right? Because if I've delivered to you, you should tell your friend. Because if I did not deliver to you, you go and tell them that I did not deliver to you. Now that I've delivered to you, you must tell your friends. So as soon as they are satisfied, you have been able to satisfy them, ask them immediately. When they are smiling, their emotional guards are down. So ask them. So question 2 is that some of them don't want others to know that they bought property. How do we navigate that? Yes, I've been there too before, and I shield them. So, for instance, I remember the guy that introduced me to multi-choice told me categorically I should not tell them that he has bought. So, and I didn't tell them that he has bought, but he trusted me enough to still introduce me to his friends, and his friend bought. In fact, there's been a case whereby a friend will tell me that I should not tell his friend that he has bought. When his friend too bought, don't tell the person that said I should come and meet you two that have bought. So people are very secretive when it comes to real estate in this part of the world, which I understand. So any other question? Thank you very much, Oluwatosin Peculiar. So the recording of this section will be made available.